Okay, our pieces are now dry. We have the grenade shroud and the rifle shroud. And if you remember, I told you there was a good and bad about the Gorilla Glue. It expands to fill in the gaps. The downside is that it will ooze out if you use too much glue. You can usually take care of that by just wiping it off with a paper towel as it oozes. I was obviously not watching mine. The easiest way to clean that up is we're going to take a razor knife and we're just going to scrape the glue off. Okay, when you're scraping with the razor, you just want to get the edge of the glue off. You want to be careful not to gouge the resin. So you just peel up the glue with the blade. Also, remember it's a razor blade. If you're scraping towards you, you want to be very careful you don't hit your body or your fingers. If you're scraping away, you want to be careful that you don't take too much resin. When you get most of it off, you can actually hold the blade at a 90-degree angle and drag it across that almost like a paint scraper. Okay, when you've cleaned up the outside, you have to go inside the carry handle and you want to make sure that you get that cleaned out really well. This is a little harder to do, so again, be careful with your fingers. Clean out both sides. And when you get most of the glue off, again, we'll finish the rest with sanding. Okay, now we're going to sand the pieces, so you want to wear your safety goggles. And whenever you're sanding the resin, you should probably wear a mask. For demonstration purposes, I'm not wearing one, but I'm not sanding the entire piece either. We're going to take our block and we're going to try and use it to smooth out the straight sides, the long block. And just run that there. And what we hope to accomplish with that is a nice flat edge. And you can sand the bottom. You can sand the front piece here. For the smaller parts, what I like to use is a acrylic nail file. They're made for plastic. They sand really well in the smaller parts. Again, you would be wearing a mask from the dust. You also want to make sure that when you're in here, especially on the places that are hard to reach, like the inside of the carry handle and the other surfaces, that they're perfectly flat on both sides. I had a little bit of a clamp slip here, so my sides don't even up perfectly, so you got to make sure you sand those flat, especially if you want to glue the other pieces to them. The other thing you can do with the acrylic nail files is you can cut them, and you can make custom sizes, such as fitting inside the grenade handle there and on both sides of that, and you can run that. And it's nice because the edge does not have abrasive on it, so you won't take down any of the corners. Now once you have all your edges sanded, you can move on to the next pieces. Okay, you'll notice the inside of the carry handle is slightly rounded. So to get in there, we're going to make another tool. I took a dowel that was slightly smaller than the carry handle on the inside. I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper. I'm going to tape one edge to the dowel and roll it as tight as I can. And once I get it nice and tight, I'm going to slide that into the carry handle and then sand back and forth. That will clean out the inside of the carry handle and should get rid of the glue. Okay, now we're going to work on the magazine well. The first thing you want to do is put some batteries in and turn the switch on and test your LED. Now we're going to test fit it into the mag well. And it's a little tight, it doesn't fit. So we're going to have to clean that up a little bit. Again, I like the acrylic nail files, they work really well. Test it again. We're getting close. We just want to take a little bit off at a time. Alright, let's check it one more time. And that looks like we're good. It's nice and tight. And we'll just stop sanding there. I think we're in good shape. Now we're going to move on to dremeling the switch out. You can cut it by hand, you can use an X-Acto knife. I'm going to try and use a Dremel. And you notice the one side of the kit has a cutout and a place for the switch already on there, just to make your life easier. So what I'm going to do with the Dremel is first I'm going to cut out so the switch can open and close. And then we'll test fit the switch. Okay, it's really close now, and inside here I think I've reached the limit of my Dremel, so I'm going to have to use an X-Acto knife to try and clean it up a little more. So we'll take my knife, and we're just trying to work the corners, make sure everything's square and flush. We want it to fit in there, and we want the switch to move freely. So we'll try it one more time, and looks like we're good. The switch moves freely. Now we're ready to move on to where we pin the pieces.